Good evening and welcome to Goosebumps HorrorTown playthrough of the new event Chicken Chicken. This is the Crafting 101 for you to understand how this event will be working and what you can do. In this part I'll be talking about how you too can get the grand prize, which is in this case the Were Chicken Parade Float, which looks pretty funny. I will admit I do like this kind of design of this prize, as it were. I'll also briefly talk about the book prize, which in this case it's going to be the Goshen Falls founder. And yeah, I mean, in this part it'll make sense on why exactly, but for the most part I figured let's just jump right in and I'll explain more on how to beat, quote unquote, this event. Let the water flow through you inside something. I have to admit, I am really liking and digging the animations coming back here for these special items, and it looks really nice. It would be fun when we finally get this unique item, but I digress. Welcome to the Crafting 101. We're going to be taking a look into how we can get our final grand prize, which is here, the Rare Chicken Parade. This actually looks pretty cool, I will admit that. There are a few items we need, 6 of the Thanksgiving meals, 10 of the hero breakfasts, 7 of the monster pies, and 6 of the monster buckets. Now, the thing is, these 2 here are going to be from our new crafting item area, which is the Heroes Diner, and then these other 2 here are from the Monster Diner. So I'm guessing I get what they're trying to do with this event. It's kind of like human food versus monster food. So I get that whole thing here. We're going to quickly take a look into what is required and all that stuff. So let's just dive right in here. So first things first, before I talk about the characters and items drops, this is the Heroes Diner. A few things to note. The chicken thighs, the cranberries, the green beans, the eggs, and the potatoes are the new items, or 4 of them are new, 1 of them, this one, is actually reused. But most of these items are actually useful as far as things go, unique-wise. Basically, these are your common items that you're going to see a lot of these characters drop real quick. The tasks themselves are like literally less than a minute or hour. So you're looking at less than 30 minutes. So pretty much these items are going to be very easy. So most of this stuff, the roast chicken, cranberry sauce, chicken glaze, like all this stuff here, a lot of them are easy to do. It takes some time, but let's talk about the 2 main things here. So the Thanksgiving meal and the hero's breakfast, for the most part, it's actually very doable with long story short, when it comes to the hero stuff, you wouldn't have to worry so much because all this stuff is easy to get, easy to craft, like grocery bags, easy to do. You probably have a lot of characters that can do that, or you can turn on the grocery area and get that stuff just fine. Not only that, but there's also something I'm going to talk about that's going to be able to skip all that once we get to that point. But I'll explain that in a minute. I will talk about the scare as well because there's a negative with that, but I'll talk more about that. Anyways, let's go back to the Monster Diner. So, the Bloody Muffin, we actually don't need this as far as this event goes. It's just there, I guess, just because. It's funny because this was like an item for the Haunted Halloween, and yet it's being added to this event. I guess it's probably going to be used for a quest, but I don't think you need this as far as the main event stuff needs to go. However, this Monster Pie and Monster Bucket, this is where the problem comes in. Because not only does the Monster Pie going to be hard because you'll need to sacrifice a Thanksgiving meal for that, but the main concern is actually this, the chicken leg. And the reason why that is such a huge negative is because the only way to get that is through this new scene, which is the barn. And I think you can already see where the problem is here. If you do not buy the 2 new characters, you have to deal with 2 chickens and a rooster. 20% only. That is garbage. That is worse than what we got last time. Extremely so. So they expect you to either get these two characters. One of them, Vanessa, being the cheapest out of the bunch, which is 40, gives you about 60% if you go that way. And if you decide to also get Crystal, for some reason who's a giant chicken here, it's 100%. So if you get both of these characters, then you can get everything just fine. However, the rooster is required to take some of the event currency, which is like, looks like eggs in a chicken basket. But yeah, it's the sucky part about this whole thing with the chicken legs. That's going to be the hardest item to get within this event, 100%. Everything else seems like it's pretty easy to do, but the chicken legs is going to be the more pain to get. Now, as far as getting these items go, I'm going to talk about there are all alternatives you can do. But what I will say is that if you're just getting the event item and there's no other alternatives, you have to craft it through here. What I would suggest is get all the other items here and then just kind of sacrifice the cash to grab the item in question. It sucks, but believe me, it's a lot easier than having to deal with the waiting for the thing to drop because it's ridiculous. I have yet to see what time it actually drops as far as like the wait period. Depending on if it's going to be a longer or shorter, it will depend. Like if for example, this is like 30 seconds or 30, not 30 seconds, but 30 minutes compared to an hour and 30 minutes, then maybe I can see the debate with the 20%, but that's still garbage. But yeah, this is probably the only problem. However, like I said, there are actually alternatives to get. And that's only if you're willing or if you have gotten yourself a few characters. One of them from the last event and the other one this time around. Now, what's strange is that, as I mentioned or what I'm going to mention with my part 1, a lot of these items from Halloween has been returned back, including Drool, for some reason. So if you haven't gotten the chance to get them, you can get them now for cash. It's a lot, though. But hey, you at least get him and he can help you for a bit when it comes to some of these items here. But with that in mind, let's go ahead, before we talk about the characters that is useful here, I'm going to quickly talk about the actual items, or suppliers, I should say, that drop stuff. The first supplier is going to be the cooking pot. You'll need this at some point for the quest line and as well as for Vanessa's task, which I'll share with you in a minute. It will actually drop you the crafting, not the bare minimum, but the actual crafting stuff. So this basically, either you're going to get a roasted ham, gravy, green bean salad, or the cranberry sauce. You can get one of these 4. So, and I think these are unique, meaning that you can only put one and then that's it. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm going to guess that's the case because it seems like that's been what's been going on. As far as other characters' drops go, I don't think there's going to be anything new within the quest line, and I'll explain why in a minute later on. The other items you're going to get is the greenhouse will either drop you potatoes, green beans, or the cranberries. So basically all the organic vegetables you'll get from here every 3 minutes, so one of these items. The hen house will get you eggs just fine. And then, of course, the hog hut will give you a roasted ham and that's kind of morbid when you think about it because the pigs are literally right in there. And that's it as far as event stuff goes. I think the hardest thing about this event that you're probably going to have to deal with is the currency. However, it seems like these characters are a bit quicker when it comes to dropping stuff. So there's that. But if you look at, say, what Sator's selling, the drops per se for when it comes to the currency is not that great from what I see here. So it's going to be a bit of a trouble when it comes to some of this stuff. Especially since if you want to get ahead of some areas, you're going to have to put down some of the newer stuff. Particularly the parade balloons. Before I get to the parade balloons and the characters, though, I just realized there's one last thing I want to talk about real quick. Now, if you mentioned before The Bloody Muffin you don't need, and you're most likely going to have to craft it during the event, so that's like whatever. But this is the big one, the Monsterator, or basically the Monster Sandwich. You're going to need both these, the Monster Bucket and the Monster Pie, in order to craft, and you're most likely going to have to craft one for this event, for the story. What I recommend you do, because it seems like lately they've been doing this, do not, when you get to the point when they tell you do this, do not craft this until you get the final prize. Once you get the final prize, then go ahead and get through the event here, because eventually near the end it's going to say, get this, and you'll be fine with that, and, you know, all that good stuff as its main apparent. But now that's done, we'll talk about the characters. So we have our normal suspects here, like for example Mr. Mortman, play puzzle race, get your green beans, and that's it. So most of these characters, again, will either drop you one of the 5 common items, the normal ones. However, this is when I was talking about why it's important to go ahead and save yourself in getting the parade balloons. I mean, you're going to have to do it anyways for the quest line. But it's important for here too because, and I'm going to show you why. I should have clicked on Lucy's assignment, yeah. So again, she has that. But if you look down closely, you need the color, for this case, you need Colors Balloon Brood because it's cheering. It's a new animation. However, if you see very closely there, she drops the cranberry stuff. So basically, these characters will drop you some unique items as far as like, instead of getting cranberries, you get the cranberry, the second alternative. And the same thing when it comes to Dustin. Yeah, so Dustin drops you the chicken. So instead of dropping you a chicken thigh, he drops you the whole thing. But you need Drool's balloon in order to get that going. You need Marty to get Danger's Parade Balloon. So instead of getting you the ham, you can get the green bean salad. I believe there might be one more. I know Mrs. Marr. So instead of eggs, she'll give you gravy. But you need the Muffin Parade Balloon in order to get that going for you. So there's all that stuff there for the normal stuff. Greg, interesting enough, if you played through this game a long time, then you probably got this character already. However, if you've already played, like this is only if you've played through the Be Careful What You Wish For quest line. If you haven't gotten there yet, this is the opportunity now. You'll be able to get them through the event currency. He's also available within the bundle that it's available right now. Greg has 2 interesting animations. One of them is Feeling Not So Well, which is a chicken thighs, and then the other one, Sit on Eggs. You'll need the actual the hen house for, and it'll actually drop you a hero's breakfast. So again, it's another way to skip that problem in order to, like, again, like I said, the hero stuff is going to be the less of your concerns. It's the monster stuff that's going to be a problem. So Greg is very, like, you probably, if you played through this for a while, you probably have Greg, so it's going to be very helpful for you, so you won't have to deal with that stuff. Dark doesn't have much of anything here. Something I'll mention. So these characters were from our last update, but they also are from Haunted Halloween. I'm hoping that they're still around to get, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But if you go through here, he gives you the thighs. However, there's one thing I want to note, and I'm not sure if they've fixed this already or they're going to fix it, but I will point this out. Sarah's also available here, but as of right now, for some bizarre reason, she drops pumpkin seeds. But she gives you 2 of the event currency. So if you don't have her needing to do anything for your Haunted Halloween book, if you've already got her through that, then just kind of do this, and then you can just delete the unnecessary items through here with the quests. So let me see if there's any here for me to kind of give an example for. Now you can sell them off, yes, but in cases like for me, because I'm lazy, I tend to just do something else entirely. Yeah, so the cranberries was from the other event here. So that, yeah, for example, like the I don't need that, so I can get rid of it. Because you don't need the pumpkin seed for anything. It's only useful for that one event that just recently passed. And thank God it's passed, because a lot of people weren't happy about that. Surprisingly, for the other updates here from the Welcome to Camp Nightmare, they don't drop you the cranberry stuff, as far as I can see here. Yeah, so it's just money and whatnot. So really the cranberries are only coming from the specific event stuff here. So just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead a little bit more further in till we get to our special characters. I'll talk about Curly in a minute because he's going to be very special. Now, we're going to talk about Aaron and Faraday because, interesting enough, these are going to be the last time they're going to be useful, and then the next update they're not going to be needed anymore. So if we go to Aaron, she has one task, which is Rage, which drops you some ham. So if you have her, just have her do that. Be helpful. We're going to go to Faraday next. Yeah. Alright, so go to Faraday. And he has one task, which is a Jolly Shot. So again, if you have these two characters, they'll have to do that. Which is common because at this point, when you get to the final, they only have like one useful item and then that's it. So keep that in mind. Thalia has two things she can go for. She can go skipping rope with cranberries, or she can apply makeup like she did last time to get green bean casserole. I'd recommend you go for this one because it's a little bit harder to get the green bean casserole, and the cranberries are very easy to get, especially with other characters dropping it, so I would recommend not bother with that. In my opinion, Mr. Chameleon, or Mr. Chameleon, as I like to kind of try out, he has 3 tasks you can do, not 4 or 5, like the other one. Technically 5, but really 4 because the 5th one drops event currency but didn't drop the items. I digress. He has 3 here you can go with. Dark Plans, which gives you cranberry sauce. Again, easy. Great Testing, which is the egg, which is easy. And then there's Dance with Himself, which drops gravy. In my opinion, you can go for any of these, but I would recommend him going for gravy because not a lot of other characters can go for gravy. Other characters like Lucy and whatnot can get the cranberry sauce. So just have him dance with himself in the shadow there. And then we'll go over here to Drool. Now, what's interesting about Drool is that technically, I think as of now, I don't think this is a glitch. I think this is intentional. Maybe because of an apology for what happened last update. It's strange, but whatever. But yeah, now we got Drool. You can buy him if you miss him, and he's going to be useful for this event to drop, I think, our common items. So I'm talking about the ham, potatoes, eggs, and cranberries he can actually do. Surprisingly, his little Halloween thing is not here anymore, so really he just has 3 animations here, unfortunately. But hey, it's something. So basically, you can do whatever you want, really, because it's not that. Again, I would recommend any items you feel like you need more of, just have them do that, and you should be fine. I'll talk about the new characters in a minute, because they're going to be important for what I'm about to talk about as far as skipping things go. But, yeah, I might as well grab that as well. Alright, let's talk about our controversial boy, Curly. The one that was exclusive and unique. Now, if you were fortunate enough to get him and buy him through the Halloween update that has recently passed, there is some benefit for you here. And rightfully so, because this man, this character has been kind of the controversy and has been like trying to be like, oh, he's worth being unique kind of deal. But I'll explain in a minute. Curly drops you some items here, which is just like, yeah, whatever. But the real interesting part is that there's actually 2 animations he does that's going to be useful. So, like, he gives you gravy, all that green beans, all that, yeah, whatever. But the real interesting one is his comeback from the dead animation drops you monster pies, and the family stunt actually gives you the monster bucket. So if you happen to be fortunate enough to get Curly last event, then this event will be very easy for you, and you won't have to deal with the drop bull. This is only if you have them and you don't want to get the other 2 characters. You don't have to. Curly is certainly one of those unique characters that you can get right away. Now then, the other thing about Curly is if you have him, he's going to be very helpful because there's another task he has. If you manage to get yourself the Drool Parade Balloon, he has a unique animation that will drop you the Monsterator. That weird sandwich-looking thing. So that means you don't even have to bother with the Monster Pie or Monster Buckets. You can just have him do that, and you're good to go. So really, if you get Curly, he breaks the event again. Rightfully so. So, there's that. But, hold on, I know what you're saying. What if you missed out last event? Or if you didn't bother because of the money stuff issue? Have new characters who are walking around here. Vanessa and Crystal. Now, I'll talk about the most expensive one as of right now, because I'm just going to talk about this. So, this is what she does. She has animations that can drop you the glazed ham, the roast, green, whatever. But the interesting part is, as far as I can see, she not only drops you the hero breakfast, which, again, you don't really need if you have Greg, but getting her nails done will give you the Thanksgiving meals, meaning that if you do get her, then you're able to skip the whole hero stuff to craft, because she can just send her to do these items and she'll be good to go. And then, of course, the spot for that. So really, all of her tasks here are actually animated, hence why I think that's why she's like $80. Honestly, if you don't like her design or you don't like the animation she has, I would suggest maybe not go after her. That is if you're not going for the bundle, right? This is only if you don't go in for the bundle, if you want to say, should I buy her with my bucks? My honest opinion, I would say no. Because although, yes, she does drop you the Thanksgiving meal, I'd say it's easy enough to get on her own, so you're not really needing to get that for the price she's worth. Not my honest opinion worth the value. But what I would recommend you do, if you are not, and this is only for if you don't want to spend money, and if you don't, and if you want to get through this event, if you don't want to spend money, but you want to get a character with your bucks, 100% get Vanessa. She's 600. That's a lot. But here's the reason why. Because she drops you the hero breakfast as well, which is, whatever. But this is the big one. She drops you not only the monster buckets, but the monster pie. Mind you, you need the cooking pot. If you do get her, you have to get the cooking pot anyways for the quest. And once you get that put down, you will be able to get the monster bucket and the stuff just fine. Meaning the only thing you have to worry about is getting the Thanksgiving meal. So, if you want to buy a character, I highly 100% get Vanessa. She's a bit costly in my opinion, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a sucker for the design of the character as well as her little animations, but quite honestly, this is one of those deals to get for the unique for an event. And that's only if you don't want to pay her for a bundle and you don't have Curly. So keep that in mind. As you can see, that allows you to deal with going away from dealing with the bull of the event area here, which I'm going down here right now very, very slowly. And I have to go back because I have to let this thing load in. It's so annoying I have to do this in order for this to happen. There you go. For the barn, yeah. But if you do get all these characters like you saw before, if you get both of them and then this, it gives you 100% of the drop rate for the claw. So you can tell they're trying to make you kind of go for the bundles. The bundle currently right now is for like 2 weeks only, so it is probably one of the deals to get. Especially if you haven't have Greg yet, you can get him as well. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I think, if anything, the hardest item to get is going to be the chicken leg, 100%. Because this, if you don't get the two characters, that's just bull right there. That's baloney. There's no way you can get that. And the reason I'm saying this is because I bet you anything in this quest line, they're going to ask you to get this item. And that's going to be where people are going to be stuck on. Everything else, I can see people being able to get through just fine. Maybe it's a bit challenging, but you can get through it. So long as you've actually gotten yourself put into here. Now, if you've decided to not buy into anything, for whatever reason, if you don't want to spend your money on anything, is this physically possible to do? It's going to be a big pain, especially for the barn, because like I said, oh, right, I had it off on purpose. Like I said, this is what you're dealing with. Now, I'm not 100% sure, as of the time of this recording, what drops they have as far as this goes, but it's going to be kind of hard to do because of the grind of getting this. And it's going to depend, because I'm probably going to have to leave a comment exactly on my thoughts on this, but if the quest here, cooldown time is less than an hour 30, then maybe I can see some justification for the down of 20%. But if it's the same, then that's kind of crappy. Yeah, this is going to be the biggest grind, and this is going to be the biggest luck base of RNG, which is never good. This is the only thing you're going to have difficulties with. Everything else is going to be fine. Like this, no problem. You'll probably have no problem getting this just fine. It's going to be the monster stuff that's going to be a bit of a problem, and it's only because of the chicken legs. That's it. 100% that's it. So, this event, 100% better than what we've dealt with last time. There's still that one little thorn that is like really kind of like making it very uncomfortable, but there's ways around the thorn that kind of make it seem a little bit less hurtful. And that's only if you decide to kind of invest into the game, whether that being with your Goosebucks to buy Vanessa, or if you've already bought it through bundles. Which, of course, you know, when it comes to these kinds of games, they want you to kind of invest in to kind of help. So, really, that's what you have to be dealing with. Honestly, I really do dig the event, not the event item, but the grand prize here. It actually looks kind of funky and also funny at the same time. I like it because it plays on with the Thanksgiving parade and, yeah, all that stuff. Right, I forgot to mention about the book. I think as of late, for the last few updates, it seems as though the books are only kind of achievable for people who actually kind of invest into the game as of late. Some people have completed some of the quest lines, but not a lot of them do. They end up getting stuck on certain things, mostly due to the grind. For this particular book, it is available to you right from the get-go. You don't need to put anything down. It's already open. It's for level 5. Don't know why that early, but whatever. And 12 quests to this whole thing. And the prize this time is the Goshen Falls Founder. Now, if you get to completing this event quest line, most likely than not, whatever items they're going to offer to you or ask you to get, you're going to get easy regardless. I think the only problem is, like I said, so long as it's not like the monster items, then you should be fine. But I have no idea exactly what will be for the epilogue request. So just keep that in mind. Alright, back to the video. Right, so hope all this has been helpful to you as far as better understanding what's going on here. As of right now, it's 4 weeks and 3 days until this is done. And last time I did this update, they had to change it to an extra day because of what happened beforehand. So if anything hasn't changed from what I'm saying to this date, the due date to this when it's over, according to the calculator here, is Tuesday, December 8th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you have a long time to get through this. It's very possible to get it. It's going to be hard for the claws for sure. But everything else going to be easy. So get through it. Hope everything goes well. If you have any suggestions on what you found out would be helpful, let us know down below in the comments, and we'll be sure to share with you. And that's gonna be it. So hopefully this has helped. I've been Grim, and I'll be seeing you next time for more Goosebumps HorrorTown playthrough. So until then, get yourself ready and prepared for the meal of a lifetime.